15 years, blowing the doors off the competition. Podcasting to planet Earth.
PNRNetworks.com.
Now entering the PNR Networks arena, coming down the aisle from Revere, Massachusetts, weighing in at absolutely none of your business. It's the Mistress of Mayhem, the Queen of Quips. It's time for Ring Around the Rosie with your hostess, Kim Brown.
Hello there, my darlings, and welcome to another week here on Ring Around the Rosie. I'm Kim Brown, your hostess, aka Platinum Rose Lady, coming to you on August 8th of 2021. Well, here we are, still the beginning of another month. It's still new. There's, a pretty new month to look forward to, summer in New England, which can be summed up by one word, and that word is fuck. I'm sorry, I'm not a summer person. I've mentioned frequently on my shows that I am not a spring-summer person. I am a fall-winter type of gal. I don't do well in hot weather. I don't like to sweat. I don't like bugs, and I don't tan. So summer in New England is usually me just being like, yeah, great, have fun at the beach, have fun at whatever. I'm just going to sit under this umbrella. Because if I don't, I'm going to spontaneously combust. I don't do well. And I'm not a summer person. I'm not a sunshine type of gal. I just never have been. Can't help it. I hope everybody's week went well, and hope everybody's keeping safe with all of the new health concerns out there, with all of the new stuff with this Delta variation of COVID. And, do I really need to say wear your mask and get immunized and all that stuff like that? Because apparently I fucking do, because a lot of y'all just don't want to fucking listen or get it or get with the fucking program. I mean, it's so aggravating. And just as a FYI out there for everybody who has been immunized, which you have, good for you. Give yourself a little pat on the back and a cookie. Do yourself a favor and also take a picture of your immunization card. Just take your phone, find your little camera thing on your phone, which I had to look for because I don't take pictures on my phone, certainly not of me. But, I'll take pictures of Fred, the duck that lives in my purse. Yes, I do have a duck that lives in my purse. His name is Fred. What of it? But take your little card, your little immunization card, and take a picture of it. That way, if deity of your choice, forbid, you lose it, you have proof that you have it. Just because. Some places are now asking for people to show their card and stuff like that before they allow them in. Not entirely sure how I feel about that. I get it, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, wow, we've gotten to that point, huh? And then I'm like looking back on things and I'm thinking, well, considering that some people are just bound and determined to be rock fucking stupid during a worldwide fucking pandemic, which is still going on as much as people would like to act like it's not, it is what it is. But be safe, be careful, take care of everybody around you, wash your hands, and all that good stuff like that. So, on to wrestling. And I have to say goodbye to somebody now, and that kind of sucks. We all, we're all only allotted a certain amount of time on this planet, and that kind of sucks for the people around us who love us and care for us. And we had to say goodbye to one of wrestling's good guys. Ironically, he didn't usually play a good guy in the ring, but from what I heard backstage and people who knew him in real life, whatever the hell real life is. I'm not entirely sure. He was one of the good guys, and that was Bobby Eaton. Bobby Eaton passed away on August 4th of 2021. He was 62 years old. Bobby would probably be best known to most wrestling fans as being part of the Midnight Express, and that he was part of the Midnight Express under Jim Cornette's management. For the longest time, the Midnight Express was composed of himself and Dennis Condrey, and at one point, Dennis left, and he was replaced by Stan Lane. Funny story about that. Way back in the day, we didn't get to see a lot of NWA, WCW stuff live. Very rarely. But one time, they did come to, I think it was still the Boston Garden back then, and I got to go to the show, and I was super psyched, and there was a match with the Midnight Express, and they came out to the ring, and I'm looking, and I'm like, okay, there's Jim Cornette, and there's Bobby Eaton, and hey, that guy looks like Stan Lane. That is Stan Lane. What the hell? That was the night that I found out Stan Lane was part of the Midnight Express instead of Dennis Condrey anymore, and I was like, what the hell? That, freaked me out. Bobby, as part of the Midnight Express, was involved in a very long feud with the Rock and Roll Express as part of the NWA. It's really weird to think at one point they were also, the Midnight Express was also feuding with the Midnight Express, because you had one team called the Midnight Express managed by Jim Cornette, and then you had Paul Heyman, known back then as Paulie Dangerously. He came into the territory with a different team called the Midnight Express, partially made up of Dennis Condrey and the other gentleman being I'm sorry, I've lost his name, Randy Rose. I blanked out for a second. Sorry, Randy. So now you had Midnight Express versus Midnight Express, and when you get in these kind of situations, you have to cheer for somebody. So Cornette's team got cheered for, so they were actually the faces in this, which was just very weird. Bobby was a multiple-time tag team champion, Mid-Atlantic tag team champion, Mid-South, won the Pro Wrestling Illustrated Tag Team of the Year in 1987 with Stan Lane. He was inducted into the Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame in the class of 2019 as part of the Midnight Express, both with Dennis Condrey and Randy Rose. Ow. It's like, okay, I think I've gone cross-eyed now. But for all of the accolades that he was involved with in the ring, of which there were way too many to mention, including a stint in ECW, which is just completely floored me when I found out about it. And also, for a little while, was part of a team called the Blue Bloods, where he had found out about his British royal heritage and teamed with Lord Stephen Regal as the Earl of Eaton, or Earl Robert Eaton. And I'm sorry, seeing Bobby Eaton dressed in that, poofy, poofy poet pirate shirt with the ruffled collars and all that next to Stephen Regal was hilarious. I'm sorry. It was just funny. It didn't take away from the fact that Bobby was an amazing wrestler, because he still was poofy shirt or no poofy shirt. But backstage, he was known from, fans who followed wrestling for a long time and the people that worked backstage. He was known as one of the good guys in wrestling, one of those people that was just a very kind, good person that did, was not one of these people that was, driven by ego or anything like that. And that he was just a very kind, giving guy that would, give. I mean, people have talked about, people like Jim Cornette and Sean Waltman talked about how Bobby would travel and he would have a separate suitcase, and the suitcase would have things that people would need on the road, but they would forget, like, socks and, hygiene products, toiletries and things like that. And things that people would just, deodorant, things like that, people would forget. And he had a suitcase full of this stuff, and he would just give it to people that needed it. I mean, crying out loud, do you know anybody in your life that would do that that's not someone that's like your immediate significant other, and he would just do this just because? I mean, seriously, that is a very, very decent human being. His wife had passed away just about a month ago, which is really a month previous to his death, which is incredibly sad. Mr. and Mrs. Eaton are survived by 3 children, and I like to believe, and it's nobody else's belief but my own, that their spirits are now at least, reunited in whatever is beyond this, which I hope is more peaceful than what is here now. I hope that Bobby has found peace and been reunited with his wife. My deepest sympathies to his children, to the people that knew him on a professional basis, the people who knew him on a personal basis. And from everything that I've heard about him and from what I saw as a person and felt from him as a vibe, the fact that he was called Beautiful Bobby Eaton was a reflection of the person that he was inside. So Godspeed and rest in peace, Bobby. I hope there's more peace in the next existence than there was in this one. So, moving on to news. Obviously, there's been a lot of news stories the last couple of days that are just complete lunacy when it comes to the WWE and the fact that they're still on this incredible release kick that they've been on. That we started with the news that Bray Wyatt has been released by the WWE, which I was like, when I saw that, I gotta be honest, straight up, this is not me screwing around. When I first saw that, I thought it was a joke. I'm like, oh, ha, those guys at Kayfabe News, they're fooling us again, those wacky pranksters. Nope. They really did this. They really pulled that trigger. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Nope, Bray Wyatt has been future endeavored by the WWE, which doesn't stop them from selling his merchandise with his face on it, which some people reported at at shows and such. I'm like, well, of course it wouldn't stop them because they can still make money. Yay, capitalism, right, Vince? Okay. I gotta be, I'm not even gonna try and be like, well, I understand why they let him go because this. Because fuck it, I don't get it. I don't fucking understand why they let him go, considering the fact that he was one of the most popular people they had. I'm completely like, what? I don't understand. I don't get it. It's, other than the fact that I have this uncomfortable feeling in my gut that they're going to try and give his gimmick to somebody else and be like, well, we could put anybody in a mask and just have them be the Fiend. I'm like, no, that won't work. If you try it, it's going to fall fucking flat, and we all know it is. Other than the fact that some people have been of the opinion that Alexa Bliss stole, Dr. Evil quotes, Wyatt's gimmick, which I'm like, no, she didn't steal it. They decided to have her be part of his gimmick and then have done whatever the frig they've done with it since, which I'll be perfectly honest, I don't get. I mean, I really don't get it. But of course, because there are so many people in wrestling that are so very quick to jump on the idea that if a woman's involved, it's automatically the woman's fault, because not everybody, you know what I mean? I'm not talking about everybody, so don't get pissed at me. But there was a whole shitload of hatred directed at Alexa Bliss about, you stole Bray's gimmick, you cost Bray his job, you this, that, and the other thing, to the point congratulations, you misogynistic pieces of shit. You drove somebody else from the internet. Do you feel good about yourselves now? Considering the fact that Alexa has been body shamed, had people criticize her about her weight and other stuff that they have absolutely no fucking business telling a woman, besides, I'm sure that she gets a ton of requests every day for, like, disgusting things from people in DMs and stuff like that, because people feel like if someone's a celebrity, they own them. I don't know when that started, but please stop thinking that way, because you don't own them. It's really gross. But I don't get it. Bray was released on July 31st, and, of course, immediately after it was announced that he was released, you have a bunch of people screaming that he should go to All Elite, which he obviously can't right away. 90-day no-compete clause, which is stupid and should go away. Just my own opinion for what it's worth. Actually, this show is all my own opinion because it's my show, so I get to say what I want. Da-da-da-da-da-da. First Amendment. But I'm like, he can't show up right away, and he's not going to be able to show up as the Fiend, as much as you people would like him to. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure unless he has lawyers that are like Perry Mason level amazing, the WWE owns all of that stuff. I mean, they could have him do something like that. I would appreciate it if whoever gets a hold of Bray or whoever he goes to doesn't do that, because it's not a good look. You know, I don't think it's a good look to have somebody show up somewhere else and basically do the exact same thing they were doing, but now they've got a purple hat, or now they've got an orange shirt, so now that makes it different. That's just me, for what it's worth. Other than the fact that he's an incredibly talented guy, because most of that stuff, from what I've heard, the Firefly Funhouse stuff, oh gosh, that's hard to say even when you're sober. I plead the fifth, or I drank a fifth. I don't remember. A lot of that stuff, that was him. And considering some of the stuff WWE's creative team has come up with themselves, I'm not surprised it was his stuff, because it was actually, watchable. But Bray's obviously a very, or Wyndham Rotunda's real name, obviously. He is an incredibly talented individual with a brain full of creative stuff. To be perfectly honest with you, I'm kind of like, dude, if you're that creative, which you obviously are, you might want to just kind of go the Stephen King route and start writing scary shit. It's like, maybe just start writing scary shit. Stephen King can't write forever. Maybe you can, like, ascend the Iron Throne or whatever. I didn't watch Game of Thrones. I tried. Too much weirdness and incest. Blah. Jason Momoa or no Jason Momoa. I'm sorry. And just when we figured that news was going to be so that's the news that's going to knock us all on our butts. Oh no, the WWE decides to add a little more to this when it was announced that on August 3rd, the WWE and Ric Flair parted ways. Now, a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, have made an enormous meal out of the fact that in the tweet that the WWE put out, they did not wish Rick well in his future endeavors, and everyone is acting like that's some big, enormous omen, like, they didn't wish him future endeavors. Oh no, it's like, no, they didn't. I don't know why everyone's acting like they've just cursed him, or why that has any weight, even if it did, but here we are. It does kind of make it look a little bit like, okay, so apparently things didn't end well. And we've been getting a lot of this happened, that happened, the other thing happened, blah, blah, blah. Some people have said that the whole thing started because Rick went to Vince McMahon because Rick wasn't happy about the way Charlotte's storylines were going, and Charlotte is his daughter, so that would make sense. If Rick put it down to it's, you fix her storylines or I'm gone, and then Vince was like, well, you're gone, that seems a lot like cutting off your nose to spite your face and cutting your whole fucking head off. But, I'm not a millionaire that owns a business, so what the fuck do I know, right? And of course, again, everyone starts screaming and yelling that Ric Flair should go to AEW, including Andrade, apparently. Andrade would like to have all of his family in AEW, and that includes Charlotte, who is his fiance, and Ric Flair, who apparently he gets along well with, and all this stuff like that. I'm like, okay, well, I guess that would be good. Anybody who gets Ric Flair, come on, it's Ric Flair. If you get Ric Flair to be part of your show, come on. Stupid commercials notwithstanding. I'm sorry, Rick. I'm sorry. I know you're not writing them, but some of those commercials have really actually caused me heart agita. It's just been really like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. I would be thrilled to see Ric Flair in AEW. Not wrestling because, he's not, I wouldn't say he's not well or anything like that, but he's had several health concerns and stuff like that. But still, if you put Rick in front of a live mic and let him go, that's electrifying television right there. Sorry, Dwayne. But, is it going to happen? He says he's got a bunch of things going on and all kinds of irons in the fire, and including a comic book, and that scares the living crap out of me. But anyway, do I think that the WWE's made a phenomenally colossal, enormous, huge fucking mistake? Yes. But, and then when you think that the mistake train's just gonna keep on a-chugging, because WWE announced on the 6th of August that they've released Bobby Fish, Bronson Reed, Jake Atlas, Leon Ruff, Mercedes Martinez, Giant Zangier, referee Stefan Smith, Ari Sterling, Kona Reeves, Tyler Rust, Desmond Troy, Asher Hale, and talent Zechariah Smith, who was part of the Performance Center. You people released... First of all, oh my gosh. That's called a head desk moment, children. It just completely... I saw that list and I was like, are you kidding? First of all, the fact that you rocket scientists in WWE couldn't figure out the kind of amazing athlete that you had in your... I just can't. This is the one that just drives me insane. Mercedes bothers me as well, because Mercedes Martinez is incredible. I've seen her locally in local shows and stuff a while back, and she was incredible back then. You people had Alex Zane. You had Alex fucking Zane under contract. And first of all, you made him change his name to Ari Sterling, which, while it wasn't a terrible name, wasn't Alex fucking Zane. And then you let him go. My gosh. You know that whole thing that people have said about an infinite number of monkeys? If you've never heard this, it's the whole idea that if you had an infinite number of monkeys and an infinite number of typewriters and an infinite amount of time, that said monkeys would eventually be able to copy the works of William Shakespeare. If you could find an infinite number of monkeys, they'd probably do a fuck-ton better job of running the WWE right now. Or at least writing for the WWE. Or at least writing good ideas or whatever. I'm sorry. An infinite number of sand dollars, sea urchins, I don't know what else. Pencils. Just pencils on their own. I'm beginning to think that an infinite number of tapeworms would be better writers and work in the WWE better than what they have now. And now we're hearing about this edict about, no midgets, no people under this age, and blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry, isn't no people under this age and blah, blah, blah? I'm sorry, isn't that age discrimination? Which last time I looked, wasn't that kind of shit illegal? Not like I'm telling anybody to put a bug in anybody's ear and go off and, talk to a lawyer or whatever. Goodness knows I would never do something like that. Why would I want to stir up trouble like that? I totally would. I don't get it. I don't get it. And I don't like it. It makes me very nervous for what's going to come in WWE in the next few years. Okay. Jumping over to AEW for a few minutes. Terrific show this week, the Homecoming, great show. I want to bring up Malachi Black. Oh my gosh, that match with him and Cody, I was like, well, I really felt, this is going to sound like a weird way to put it, but I felt really bad for Cody Rhodes going into this match, because I'm like, he's fucked if he does, and he's fucked if he doesn't. Because I was like, if he wins this match, you were going to have people screaming that he's killed Malachi's character before he even goes anywhere. And if he loses, you're going to have some shitheads being like, oh, he needs to retire, blah, 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 blah. Then we get the actual match. First of all, you have Malachi Black coming out to the ring with this, I don't know what crown, diadem thing on his head that I'm like, are those antlers? Are they tree branch thing? I don't know. All I know is I'm like, okay, so we're going for the just stepped out of a D&D campaign. Cool. I'm fine with that. Totally down with that. I think it looks great. I did. I love that entrance. I was like, this is the shit. This is very cool. And then you have the match where Cody put up a great fight. No shame in Cody here. But the fact that Malachi beat him pretty succinctly, even winning and then, pinning him by putting his, standing on him with his foot on his chest, I'm like, crying out loud, why don't you just whip it out and piss on him, for goodness sake? You want to establish dominance like that. I mean, we all know it's not that kind of a show. You have to pay extra for those kind of shows. And then what happened afterwards, I was kind of sitting there like, doing the dog hearing a strange noise, head tilt kind of a thing. Cody gets on the mic and starts talking about all that, wrestling's given to him and all this stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't like where this is going. I don't like where this is going. And then Cody starts to take off one of his boots. And I'm like, I really don't like this, because I'm going, we've seen this before with The Undertaker. I don't think my heart can take this again. Unfortunately, the whole thing got wrecked by Malachi Black coming back in with a crutch and blasting Cody and beating on him some more. I'm like, okay, so we're definitely putting him in the chaotic evil a part of the alignment chart. Got it. All right. Good to know. Good to know where we can put people. That's great. Yes, I do actually put people in chaotic good, chaotic evil, stuff like that, because I'm a gamer from long back and I'm a nerd. I actually came up with my own category for Jungle Boy, though. It's called Lawful Hot. So, hi, Jungle Boy. If you're out there, call me. Okay. Moving forward, I also want to say something else about this week's show that I was like, wow. The match between, Chris Jericho and Juventud Guerrera, which is part of this whole labor thing that he has to go through, which I gotta be, it's fun and I'm enjoying it, and it was fucking surreal as fuck to see Nick Gage on, something that's not GCW A, and on live TV, regular TV B. But I'm like, why the fuck does fucking MJF get to decide, well, this is the way you have to do things in order to face me? I'm sorry? You are whom on the booking team? Oh, that's right. You're not on the booking team. Why isn't Tony Khan being like, I don't see Booker as being part of your qualifications there, Maxwell? But we're going through this, and so here we are. And we had the whole thing with him fighting Nick Gage, and this week him fighting, Chris Jericho fighting Juventud Guerrera, which was amazing, and had me being like, oh my gosh, we're in a fucking time vortex. It's the 1990s again. because it was nobody's lost a step. I mean, Hoovy was incredible. Although I was kind of like, oh, he's got the mask on. Fuck. Because, I mean, I remember watching WCW back in the day when it's really weird to think about it now that back then Chris was the heel and Juventud was the face, and they had this whole match where if Hoovy lost, he had to take his mask off. And he lost, and he took his mask off, and it was like, what? I just remember sitting there and like having like a reaction from a Tex Avery cartoon, like smoke pouring out of my ears and my tongue falling out and my eyes going, because I was like, oh my gosh, that guy is smoking fucking hot. I've actually seen pictures of Hoovy since, and he's still kept his look. He's really amazing. And it was just super cool seeing him and Chris in the ring again. It was just really awesome. Now, of course, we got this match coming up this coming week with Chris having to take on Max's bitch, Wardlow, and somehow Max is the special referee. I'm like, okay, so why don't we actually have Chris wrestling blindfolded with an anchor tied around his nuts while you're at it? Crying out loud. I'm like, I mean, we're all pretty sure that Chris is going to win. Although, you know, in the name of all that's decent and good, I have no idea how. My other whole thing with this whole labor thing is that Max brought up at the beginning of it that he was, you know, a really, you know, he was a student of Greek mythology and stuff like that. And I'm like, that had me being nervous. I'm like, is Chris Jericho going to have to fight a lion? Is he going to have to fight a Hydra to face MJF? I'm not sure that that's actually going to get on television because some of us also, you know, read our Greek mythology. I'm actually kind of wondering if that's the case, you got to wonder, does that make, if you're taking a look at Hebrew tales, does that make Wardlow MJF's golem? I don't know. I guess he'd be an interesting flesh golem if you were playing in D&D in the Ravenloft campaign or something. I'm sorry. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, I occasionally, my fella has compared my mind to a pinball machine, and he's not wrong. So, truth. Okay, something else that happened during AEW that I will like to talk about for a moment, because this hurt. This actually hurt. The commercial that was Pabst Blue Ribbon commercial with Matt Cardona, who is currently holding the... Suck it up, Kim, you can do this. Matt Cardona, who's currently holding the GCW belt. Oh gosh, that fucking hurts. In a commercial with him and Chelsea Green and Smart Mark Sterling, who is very high on my list of people I would love to see thrown into a wood chipper. Storyline-wise, have to stress that. And the commercial was just reminding me why I don't drink beer. I'm like, well, if there's ever been something that advertised a straight edge lifestyle, this would be it. That did more to promote, that Pabst commercial did more to promote straight edge than CM Punk ever did ever. So good job to Pabst. No, I actually don't drink beer. And I drink wine sometimes, but I like to drink other things. I'm going to let you draw your own conclusions. Something that did not make it to television, and I'm glad that it didn't, and it was been cut, but unfortunately everybody knows about it, was Max Castor's rap on AEW Dark, where he was doing his whole usual rap diss thing, where he brings up a bunch of, he runs down his opponents and does all, and brings up things to be timely and all this stuff, because that's so original, because John Cena didn't do that way back in the day. But anyway, and one of the two of the things that he brought up during his little spiel were the Duke rape case and Simone Biles and her struggles with mental health. To which my response to Max Castor is, fuck you. There's a difference between being a heel and being a fucking prick. Guess which category you fall in, you asshole. You do not make fun of rape. Rape is not funny. You do not make fun of somebody who has mental health issues, who is performing on the world stage and had to take a moment and take a step back because they were having issues dealing with the demons inside their head. Unless you've been there, unless you've walked a mile in those shoes, shut the fuck up. Who the fuck do you think you are talking about somebody that you've never met, who's dealing with problems you will never be able to understand? Fuck you, you fucking piece of shit. That was a really fucking lousy thing to do. And no, I'm not going to forget about you, Charlotte Flair, for bringing it up either. Fuck you too, in that respect. Everybody clutched their pearls and stuff like that when somebody mentioned something about, when Paige mentioned the whole tragedy of Charlotte's brother passing away, Charlotte's brother Reed, and people took the WWE to task for that because that was wrong. Bringing up somebody's dead brother. That was wrong and disgusting. And it's wrong and disgusting to take somebody's mental health issues and use them in your wrestling story when the person has nothing to do with wrestling, didn't okay that, and it just really fucking sucks. Mental health issues are not a fucking punchline. Okay. A little calmer now. Gathered myself up. Now, I know a bunch of people have said that they want Max fired. I haven't heard anybody saying they want Charlotte fired. Do I want Max Castor to be fired? No, I don't. Do I want Max Castor to learn a lesson from this? Yeah, that would be nice. I mean, they sent Sammy Guevara off for sensitivity training for a remark that he had made years before that was dumb, that it seemed like he was being pushed into by the person that was questioning him at the time, but we won't go into that. So I don't think some sensitivity training would do Max any injury. Really, for real, dude, not fucking cool. Everyone's focusing on the whole stuff with Simone Biles, as well they should, because it was really a fucking terrible thing to do. But for you to bring up the Duke case, not fucking cool. Okay. I don't want to come off like some kind of PC justice warrior, and I know some people will be like, oh, you're a snowflake, you're sensitive. Come say that to my fucking face, motherfucker, and I'll show you how sensitive I am. There's just some shit that you don't touch, you know? Alright, anyway. Moving on to some much more fun stuff. That would include going over the results for the reason that this show was so late today, because I'm fucking exhausted. From staying up to watch GCW No Signal in the Hills, which was last night in Los Angeles, California, the building that GCW ran their show in, oh my gosh, this was one of the most beautiful buildings I've ever seen. The Ukrainian Cultural Center in Los Angeles, my gosh. This building, it took my breath away. It was so beautiful inside. Although there were these I thought they were like little windows. I mean, they had these beautiful, long, ornate doorways with blue curtains in front of them that looked really cool. And above them looked like these little windows almost. And I was like, oh, puppet shows. You could have puppet shows up there. I kept thinking about King Friday from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood because I'm not well. I'm not crazy. I'm just a little unwell, as Matchbox 20 said. I don't know why they call it suffering from insanity, because I'm having a fabulous time. I gotta be honest. I mean, it was packed. I believe it was completely sold out. Didn't see a lot of masks, which made me a little uncomfortable, but, you know, what are you gonna do? We begin the show with Lee Moriarty against AJ Gray. Oh my gosh, I'm like, this is how we're starting this show. Holy crap. This is gonna get incredible. AJ Gray wound up winning that match with a lariat. Following that was ASF facing Jimmy Lloyd. Jimmy Lloyd, who did not come out to the ring with syringes, so therefore I was eternally grateful. Thanks for the needle phobia I have now, Jimmy. Thanks a lot, pal. ASF went down in defeat to Jimmy Lloyd, who won with a sit-down piledriver. Next was Starboy Charlie going against Chris Dickinson. Now, I am a fan of both of these guys. They're both very different athletes. You know, you have Starboy Charlie, who is insanely young and, you know, very springing all over the place like, you know, Tigger on speed. And Chris Dickinson, who looks like he's been carved out of granite. And the whole dirty daddy thing, which I am very conflicted about. Daddy issues? Who has daddy issues? Oh, that's right, I do. I actually went into this match going, Starboy Charlie's going to get... This is going to be terrible. Someone needs to call the police. This is going to be a homicide. Actually, no. I mean, it was a great match, and there were actually a few times I was like, he's going to kill him. Speaking of Chris, over Starboy Charlie. But Starboy Charlie wound up winning via a submission, which I got to be honest, I was like, what the fuck just happened? And to see Chris Dickinson give him respect and bow to him and everything like that, I was like, damn, that's fucking awesome. Seriously, everybody who does not have their eyeballs on Starboy Charlie, why the fuck not? Go check out his work. He is fucking amazing. The next match was Ninja Mac going against Dante Leone. This went all over the place and went crazy and also involved an unmasking, which I was like, I freak out when there's unmaskings, whether or not they're accidental or intentional. It's just, and also hearing the crowd doing the whole go ninja, go ninja, go ninja, go thing from the first, no, that was the second Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. Does it scare anybody else that I remember that? Couldn't tell you who's on the Supreme Court, but I can tell you that. Ninja Mac wound up winning with a roll-up, so go ninja, go ninja, go ninja, go. Next up was this was, I mean, there's one other match that I was excited for all the matches, but there were two matches I was really super duper duper excited about for this show. This was the first one. With the team of Bussy, which is Effie and Allie Catch, challenging the team of Mance Warner and Matthew Justice, part of the Second Gear crew, although I thought Effie was part of the Second Gear crew. Sometimes, maybe, I'm not sure. Mance and Matthew being the GCW Tag Team Champions at this time. Oh my fucking frog, this match was fucking, wow, this match was fucking madness. Which we all knew it was going to be. Thankfully, nothing was on fire this time. We didn't try and set anything on fire, so that was good. We did have knives. We had knife play, and we had knife play and people being tied up with duct tape. These are a few of my favorite things. Anyway, yeah. Wow, this match was fucking nuts. And it was very close. There were more than a few times I was like, those belts are going to change hands. And also we got Effie kissing Matthew Justice and then Matthew Justice grabbing Effie and kissing him back. And I'm like, this is causing feelings. I'll be right back. Anybody hears any moaning and banging sounds, that's the pipes. Gosh darn noisy pipes. Oh boy. I was like, okay, Effie kisses Matthew Justice. That's hot. Matthew Justice kisses Effie. And my brain went somewhere else for a minute. All that was going through my head was boop. Just white noise. It was just craziness. Mance Warner and Mance Warner, who bled fucking buckets. I'm like, how is this man standing up? Oh my gosh. Mance and Matthew kept their belts, which was like, oh my gosh, this match was fucking insane and lunacy, and I loved it. Following that was a scramble with Jack Cartwheel, who changed his hair again. The last time I saw him, the middle of his hair was pink. Now it's back to being blonde again. I'm like, you're gonna keep doing this and fuck with my head, aren't you? That's okay. I've had other people fuck with my head. It's fine. Eli Everfly I don't even want to know what that guy keeps in his mouth to make it all green and goopy like that. I don't want to know. Midas Creed, Lil Cholo, Nick Wayne, and Grim Reaper in a scramble, which was eventually won by Grim Reaper and his trusty joint. Okay, I'm not going to tell anybody how to live their lives, goodness knows, because I'm no, perfect person. I just think doing stuff with a lit joint in your hand or in your mouth seems exceedingly dangerous, but fuck me, what do I know? Just say yes, I guess. The next match was Treehouse League going against Jordan Oliver, the leader of Young, Dumb, and Broke, which I found out I can't say if I say it slow enough, so I'm very pleased with myself about that. Jordan wound up winning that match. Now, this was the next match that I was like, I'm super duper looking forward to this because one of the people in this match is one of my all-time favorite wrestlers, and I will fight you on that! And that is Marco Stunt going with his tag team partner, the bad boy Joey Janela, going against Ricky Shane Page and Atticus Kogar, again, double of 440. It's more like 440. Oh, fuck, it's these guys again. I shouldn't say that. I mean, my fella is from Ohio. Well, he lived in Ohio for a long time, so that's why the whole fuck Ohio thing, I'm like, y'all realize the number of shots are involved with that? I mean, I don't mind getting, shots, but that's way too many shots. I also got a shout out from Kevin Gill during this match, so I completely flipped the fuck out. I was all psyched. This was great. It was an awesome match, except the wrong team won. Yeah. Ricky Shane Page and Atticus Kogar stole the match from Marco Stunt and Joey Janela, and they interrupted Marco's entrance music of We Belong by Pat Benatar, which just proves how much they suck. I'm sorry. I'm not even going to try and pretend to be unbiased here because they suck. And that's just all there is to it. They suck. Following that was the main event, which we all knew was going to be madness personified. And that was a match between Dark Sheik and Nick Gage. The King, Nick Gage. Thank you very much. Oh my gosh. This, you know what? And I had the weirdest thought during this match. Yeah, I know. I had a weird thought. Shut up. I'm watching this match and I'm thinking to myself, this is a really amazing thing. Watching Nick Gage and Dark Sheik basically kill each other is really the pinnacle of the whole equal rights movement. Granted, I don't think it's what the women back in the 60s and 70s were burning their bras about, but you have all these people that are like, oh, we want equal treatment for men and women. So, well, now you've got a man and a woman fighting each other in a wrestling match, and they're doing shit to each other that no fucking normal human being, male or female, would do to themselves. So, yay for equal rights? Yay for gender equality? I guess. That's one way to look at it. I'm trying to put a positive spin on this. Because I'm sorry, at one point, I'm like, the staple guns come out. Oh, fuck, the staple guns come out. Nick Gage staples Dark Sheik's hair to the mat. At one point, she took the staple gun and hit Nick Gage in the jewels with said staple gun twice. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't even have the parts, and that hurt. This was complete madness and insanity, and there were light tubes and pizza cutters, and I loved every moment of it. Nick Gage wound up winning after a power bomb, and actually, which I thought was very cool, because Nick Gage usually, once he has a match, he gets on the mic and addresses the crowd, which are usually, completely insane people that are, stirred up into a bloodlust frenzy that's on the same level as, the Roman gladiators, Colosseum crowd. And he didn't do that this time. He let Dark Sheik, who is from that area, he gave her moment in the ring, which I was like, that is class. I mean, you can say what you want about Nick Gage, and goodness knows enough people have, and their opinions mean absolutely squat to him, probably. He's a classy guy. He has a code of honor, and I respect that. Also because I'm pretty sure the man could straight up murder me. So I'm not going to be, far be it from me to tell him that anything's wrong. Kevin Gill, as always, spot on and amazing during the show. And there were other people, doing commentary and stuff like that. I'm sorry I couldn't catch everybody's name. I was really psyched to hear Sean Waltman on commentary. The thing that really cracked me up was, and this isn't slamming on Sean, this is not intended as a slag. There were a few times when he was just kind of quiet, and he mentioned oh, I'm sorry, I was just watching the match. And I'm like, that is a stamp of approval. When you have a professional wrestler that's so involved in watching your professional wrestling match that they don't say anything on the mic because they're just watching, I think that is a huge, gold standard kind of thing. And, from somebody like Waltman, who is an incredible wrestler who did not deserve all the hate that he got, and even though occasionally that hate came from me, my husband gets that. I know you all don't, but he does. I think that's a real, thumbs up. And as always, Game Changer Wrestling, no signal in the hills. What the fuck can I say? You people are maniacs, and I love you. I just love you. I had such a great time. Speaking of pizza cutters, obviously that's another thing I wanted to talk about real quick because, everybody's had their opinion on this and stuff like that. Apparently, during the whole match that had happened, and I didn't even notice this, and I feel bad. Apparently, during the whole match that Chris Jericho and Nick Gage had, at one point when Nick was carving Chris with the pizza cutter, it was the whole picture-in-picture thing. And there was a Domino's ad. And I guess apparently Domino's flipped their shit, and they were all upset about it. There has been talk, no one's been able to prove anything, but there has been talk that the WWE are the ones that narked to Domino's that this happened. That just, the fact that, the stars aligned this way. And that's why Domino's got their panties in a twist and were threatening to, pull sponsorship and blah, blah, blah. No one's been able to confirm that WWE did this. It wouldn't surprise me. It really wouldn't. If they did, that's rat behavior. That is what that is. That's rat behavior. Not cool. But it's just one of those crazy things. I guess it's in the crazy world of wrestling. And that, cats and kittens and whoever else is out there, is going to do it from my show for another week. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, comments, queries, complaints, money, recipes, your kid graduated from, college or whatever, good news, bad news, and different news you'd like to send my way, PlatinumRoselle@yahoo.com. You can also follow me on Twitter, PlatinumRoseLady@twitter.com. I hope you will check out the other shows that are part of our little island of misfit toys that me and my husband do, and all the other people that are involved with us that have all kinds of fun stuff going on. We try to have fun, we try to have a good time, and we hope that you do too, listening to our little silly shows. So that is going to wrap it up for another week here on Ring Around the Rosie. This is Kim Brown, a.k.a. Platinum Rose Lady, signing off, reminding you to love the ones you hug the ones you love, take some time, stop, smell the roses, wear a mask, get immunized, and call your grandma. Bye.
You have been listening to Ring Around the Rosie with Kim Brown, a production of PNRNetworks. Keep in touch with all things about the show at http://ringaroundtherosie.net. Ring Around the Rosie intro performed by Eric Wyatt. Ring Around the Rosie theme by Digital Juice. Join Kim for a new Ring Around the Rosie every Wednesday. Ring Around the Rosie is copyright 2018 PNRNetworks, Boston, Massachusetts, USA.
15 years, blowing the doors off the competition. Podcasting to planet Earth.
PNRNetworks.com.